Good morning and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Lacy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Lacy's ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and motivations we give her while we are working with her, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and let go to the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Lacy's been fitted with her own personal training collar, and we'll show you how to properly use this during your one-on-one lesson. As you can see, Lacy is seated nicely on Fred's left, which is where all our obedience training is done. The first command they'll demonstrate is heeling, which is proper walking on a leash, and Fred and Lacy take off doing that now. The command you want to use for this is Lacy heel, and then you just start walking and she'll fall right in line on your left-hand side. And we've also gone ahead and incorporated our sit command into this. So anytime Fred stops his feet, Lacy will sit, as he just did. Now it's important when you're heeling Lacy that she walks nicely at your pace with her head up, not sniffing the ground. She shouldn't try to pull ahead or lag behind. If she did attempt to pull ahead or lag behind, or put her head down to sniff the ground or try to eat something, you say no, give a tug and let go correction to the training collar, repeat your command to heel, and start walking again. Next he'll demonstrate our stay command. This is a hand and voice command. He uses the open flat of his left palm an inch or so from Lacy's muzzle and the one-word command to stay. This is a great exercise to build up self-control and maturity in Lacy. You can start practicing this one at about a minute and work your way up in increments to about 3 minutes. Now as Fred returns back to Lacy, he's going to walk all the way around her, providing an added distraction as he goes behind her, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. She holds that sit-stay throughout, he gives her some praise, and then heels her right out of it. And we'll show you more of that heel, sit, and stay. As they're heeling around, he stops his feet, she sits. As they come back up, she sits, he gives her the stay again, back out to the end of that training leash. And this time, instead of returning back, he demonstrates the come or recall command, calls her in using her name, she comes and sits in front, and then we have the exercise called the finish. Fred's going to heel her right around the back of him, and gets her right back to that proper left-hand side heel position, and she sits. He's going to demonstrate this one more time. He has her in a sit, he gave her the stay, out to the end of that training leash. And calls her in using her name. She comes, she's going to sit in front of him, and then the finish, he heels her right around the back of him and gets her right back to that left hand side proper heel position, and she sits nicely. He gives her some praise and heels her right out of it. Now it's a good time to remind you want to practice all your commands with Lacy about 15 to 20 minutes a day. It helps to keep them fresh in her mind, and you can practice them with her inside or outside and just incorporate the commands into your daily routine with Lacy. You can see she enjoys doing them as her tail wags the whole time. Next we'll be showing you our down commands. The first one will be down from a heel position. Fred's going to use the open flat of his left palm straight down to the ground and the one-word firm command to down. He then gives her a stay and walks out to the end of that leash. This is another great exercise to build up that self-control in her. You can start practicing this one a little longer time. You can practice starting at 3 minutes and work your way up to about 5. Now as Fred returns back to Lacy, he's going to walk all the way around her, providing that added distraction as he goes around behind her, and right back to the left-hand side heel position, and heels her right out of it. She held that down stay throughout until he heeled her out of it, which is what you want. Now as they come back around, they'll show you that down again one more time. It's always important to follow through with your commands, though, even though she's doing very well. If she did not respond to one of your commands, the first word out of your mouth is always no, followed by a tug and let go correction to the training collar, and then you're going to repeat the command you gave her. Now you see he gave her the down again and a stay and walked back out to the end of that leash. And this time, instead of returning back to Lacy, he'll demonstrate the come or recall command right out of the down position.
Lacy, come.
Calls her in. She's going to come in, sit in front of him, and gives her some praise. And then the finish, he heels her right around the back of him, and right back to that proper left-hand side heel position. After she shakes it out, she'll sit. Alright, we'll give them a second to get lined up for our down from a distance command, which will be next. This will be our down from a distance. You're going to have her in a sit, give her a stay, walk out to the end of your leash. This is the only time you use your right hand to give the command, and Fred will drop her into a down from the end of the training leash. He then returns back to her once again by walking all the way around and right back to that left-hand side heel position, and then heels her right out of it. Alright, those are our basic obedience commands we've worked on with Lacy here at school. We've also gone ahead and just started to advance her training a little bit, which I know we had talked about starting to do with her. So I want you to see what we've started. He's going to have her in a sit, give her a stay, drop the leash completely, and walk away. And now he's going to make a big lap here around the yard. And comes all the way back over to her, and she holds that sit stay throughout. Comes back, he gives her a down, still completely off leash, and walks away again. Now obviously, we don't intend for you to start working on her obedience off leash. We want you to start with it on leash. But this will just show you what you can start to build up to with Lacy, as long as you put in that 15 to 20 minutes a day with her and practice your commands on leash. As she held that down throughout until he came all the way back and heeled her out of it. Alright, we've shown you all our obedience work we've done with Lacy here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Lacy, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.